All right. Welcome back, folks, to the FF Face-Off. We are part of the Face-Off Sports Network, and today we are doing your start-sit questions for Week 4 of the NFL season. You've got questions, we've got answers. We hopefully won't get sued for that long. But yeah, so we're going to answer all your questions today. If you have any trade questions as well, there's some injury news we'll get to as well. So have a good time here. Feel free while you're on the YouTube there. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon to be notified every single time we go live. Last but not least, go to fffaceoff.com for all of your fantasy football, NFL, sports betting needs, and follow the show on X at fffaceoff. My name is Michael Hopp. You can follow me on X at the FF Realist. I'm joined by Steve DeAngelo, who can be followed at Fantasy Savvy. And Steve, I decided as I was watching the Vince McMahon documentary that you remind me of Marvelous Mark Marrow. So with that said, how's it going?
I don't know who that is, but yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, so
he dated Sable. Remember Sable? He was Sable's husband.
Yes,
he did Playboy.
Like, this is mine now.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right, I'll take it. I'll have to look him up after the show. But yeah, it's good to be here. We are gearing up for Week 4 fantasy football in the 2024 season. Got a little bit of a hurricane here in Florida, but I'm all the way on the East Coast. The thing is, like, all the way northwest, so just getting some winds. There's barely been any rain. My kids didn't have any school today. It was like sunny out most of the day, so they got lucky. But back to school tomorrow and back on the grind for Week 4. So let's get into it. Let's get everybody ready to go and get some W's this week.
Yeah, and then we got an always positive Anthony Servino as his Cowboys get ready to take on the Giants here on Thursday Night Football. But he could be followed with the real NFL guru, Anthony Sweetheart. How is by you? And I already know the answer, but how are you feeling headed into this Thursday night matchup?
Doing good, feeling good. Okay. Whatever happens tonight happens. A very pessimistic Cowboys fan compared to years past. Like usually Dallas rolls through the regular season. Right now, they don't look like they can get out of their own way. So,
yeah. And Steve,
I'm if DraftKings gives an early win token for NFL, I will use it on the New York Giants because you just need to be up 7 points, and there will be a point whether Dallas wins or lose that the Giants will be up by 7 points. But knowing DraftKings are not going to give it for this game.
No, and just for the sake of talking about betting, I did just plug in before we went on the air. Parlay, Zeke touchdown, Daniel Jones touchdown, Daniel Jones over 32.5 rushing yards. It's about plus 1,200. And Greg says, look up Sable instead, Steve, and you could thank me later. So
sounds to me like you guys a couple of bookies. Well, it sounds to me like you guys a couple of
Yes. That we are apparently. But yeah. All right. So let's get into some of these questions here. Chris is asking Dak Prescott or Joe Burrow. Anthony, I'll go to you first in this one since it's your Dallas Cowboys. What says you? I mean, I like this matchup though between the Bengals and the Panthers. I think it's got more fantasy juice than the average person might realize. But what says you here?
So Burrow or Dak? Both, look at Dak's matchup. Historically, he plays really well against the New York Giants. Obviously goes off over 43 fantasy points last time these two teams met. Now, the last time these two teams met in New York, it was week 1 of last year. Dak had under 10 fantasy points because Dallas, that game was 40-0 and over in his second quarter. We're not going to get that version. That version of the Dallas defense is dead right now. And we're probably going to see the points scored on this Thursday night football matchup, and there's no real semblance of a running game. And I think the play here is to go Dak Prescott. Now, on the other side, you have Joe Burrow, and they get the Carolina Panthers. You can run on the Panthers. I think we're going to see a heavy dose of Zach Moss. He's one of my favorite running backs to start this week. I think I would rather lean Dak. Burrow had a nice week last week, but this is the type of game where who knows if we're going to see Joe Burrow need to pass that much.
Right. Yeah. I will just say before we go to the next question, if you do send in a super chat, you cut the whole line here. Sometimes these shows get a little busy. They get a little hairy. So if you do send in a super chat, we will see it and we'll get to that right away. So, Steve, I'll go to you on this one. Greg, who told you to Google Sable, but before you do that, he wants to know Cooks or Pittman, PPR. Both kind of, well, Pittman's kind of gross, but.
Yeah, Pittman certainly off to a rough start. Does he get Joey Porter Jr. or does Alec Pierce get Joey Porter Jr.? That is the question. Looks like Cooks is going to get Deonte Banks, who's a pretty good corner. You know, Cooper kind of tore him up a little bit last week, but Cooper did make a couple really nice catches.
Yeah.
So he definitely is beatable. Yeah, not great choices there. I mean, you could say maybe Pittman is due for something here. Richardson certainly has struggled against some pretty tough defenses, but now another tough matchup here against the Steelers. I'm going to go with Michael Pittman here in this matchup here. And maybe a little bit more attention paid off to Pierce and Josh Downs, maybe, you know, JT, the running game. So I'm going to go with Pittman, maybe get off the schneid a little bit this week and go with him over Cooks.
And circling back to that Dak, I was going to say, circling back to the Dak Burrow, I was right. The Panthers have actually been pretty good against quarterbacks outside of Derek Carr in week 1. Herbert Minshew under 16.3 fantasy points. And a lot of that's because, you know, outside of last week, you can run on this team, build a lead, really don't have to throw the ball. So I think I just trust Dak a little bit more. This is a must-win game for Dallas. And again, you can't trust their defense. They're going to be a lot of throwing. I wanted to do my due diligence and make sure I was right on the Carolina Panthers secondary.
Oh, that's why we're here, man.
Back to this question, though. Porter is projected to cover Pittman. But I mean, you know, why cover Pittman? Go after Alec Pierce. I mean, he's been their best receiver, so maybe they switch it up a little bit. Maybe we don't get true shadow coverage. I mean, either one's not great. Brandon Cooks could certainly come out and win some balls tonight, but I'll go with Pittman here. I'm not crazy about it, but that's what I'll do.
Also, while you're here, just hit the like button. If you guys ask a question, it actually takes more work for your fingers to actually text a question than it does to just click like. So just putting that in your head. Anyway, Zach wants to know Rashid Shaheed, Michael Pittman, or Wan'Dale Robinson. Wan'Dale Robinson has been getting a decent amount of targets, even though obviously Malik Neighbors is becoming a household name very fast. Anthony, and then Steve, you can answer after. Anthony, what says you here? Rashid Shaheed, Michael Pittman, Wan'Dale Robinson. Who do you start?
Wan'Dale is the high floor play, over 9.5 PPR points in 3 games to start the year. He's going to get targets, right? There's not going to be any real coverage going in his direction with how well Neighbors is playing. Michael Pittman has been absolutely invisible this season. And then you have Shaheed, low volume, and he dropped a touchdown in the end zone last week. And if he's not scoring with that low volume, there's going to be those dud matchups. That's why, and I have some Shaheed in redraft, but he's the prototypical best ball wide receiver. So this is tough between these 3 players. I'm just pulling up the Saints right now. The Saints are playing. I just had it.
Falcons.
The Saints are going up against the Falcons in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Welcome to
42,
Atlanta.
42.5 total.
And
yes, welcome to Atlanta.
Indy gets Pittsburgh. I mean,
Magic City Wings.
I'm gonna go Wan'Dale Robinson.
I would too.
That matchup and Pittman hasn't gotten going. This is a terrible matchup. Anthony Richardson struggled last week, and Bears, I believe, were 4th against quarterbacks. Pittsburgh 2nd. So this could be a bloodbath for Indy's offense.
Pittsburgh also top 10 in lowest completion percentage allowed to quarterbacks, and that's something Anthony Richardson has struggled with in the first 3 weeks. So,
and then Atlanta's defense is pretty good.
Atlanta's rocking those red helmets this weekend too, by the way.
I think Wan'Dale is your safest play. Now, if you look, Atlanta has given up one nice game to an enemy receiver. It was Pickens in week 1, 13.5. Devonta Smith in week 2, 20.6. And Juju Rashee Rice last week, 29.1. But it's like we are gambling. Juju scored, by the way.
Yeah, because Rice got hurt though, and then he came in and scored.
I know he scored. And by the way, when he scored that night, I was waiting for you to text me. I was waiting for you.
But we are gambling if we start Shaheed. Is he going to be the guy, or is it going to be Chris Olave? I would like to think Olave is going to be the guy. Like Wan'Dale Robinson, as ugly as it sounds, where I go here.
Okay. Yeah, I would say look at your opponent. If his team looks like it's going to score a lot of points, then you probably want to go with Shaheed because he has more upside. Wan'Dale is going to get you that safe 10 points pretty much every week. He's just solid. They throw to him a ton, a lot of those drag routes, and he breaks a lot of those tackles. He creates some yak, but Shaheed certainly could go off 2 big weeks to week 1, week 2. Donut last week was terrible, obviously, but they were still targeting him deep. They just missed a couple. So I would say he's the upside play for sure. So if you feel like you need that this week, I would go with Shaheed. If not, you want to play it safe. You just want to put some points on the board. Go with Wan'Dale. Kamara was a little bit banged up, but he was back in practice today, so he should be okay. Dennis Miller was very joyous about that because he didn't want to have to entertain Dennis Miller.
Maybe Dennis Miller was too.
Maybe he was. He did do Monday Night Football for a year.
He did. Oh, geez,
Dennis Allen is joyous because he doesn't want to have to rely on Kendrick Miller at any point this season for sure.
No, he's not a fan. No. By the way, is that a 2000 World Series hat?
Yes.
That's fucked up. Well, why you do that shit? Fucking hell.
Sorry about
God
that,
damn.
bro.
Jesus, like you planted. Anyway,
the other one though, I told you, my wife, I brought a brand new one in Jersey. She watched it. This is a different one. So I got a bunch of Yankee hats. I try not to wear too many other hats outside Yankees, like people wearing like Cleveland hats and shit. I just try to wear all Yankee hats. I got a couple of Florida Marlin hats, but that's about it. Yeah, but I live in Florida now, so I get a pass for that, I think.
Jared wants to know, hey guys, PPR, Shakir versus Baltimore or Jennings versus Pats. So we'll answer that. Then he has a tight end question. I will just say though, in case if you have Juwan Jennings and if you're worried, Debo was actually at practice today. I still don't think he plays this week. I just think he's just kind of getting out there. I could see him sitting again this week. Shanahan will speak to the media on Friday, so we'll know that for sure then. But with that in mind, I would go Jennings here. I mean, I love Shakir. I've talked about Shakir all fucking summer long. But after seeing what we saw from Juwan Jennings on Sunday, I don't think we see that again. But I think we see another productive week until Brandon Ayuk gets his head out of his ass. So that's my take. Steve, where are you going here? Shakir or Jennings?
Yeah, tough choice there. I mean, Jennings looked absolutely terrific last week, and
PPR too.
I don't think that Kittle or Debo are going to make their way back this week against the Patriots either. And then you expect Gonzalez to be on Ayuk, so that kind of frees up Jennings. And Jennings takes, those Debo Kittle routes across the middle, and he did a wonderful job at it. So, yeah, this is, 2 very good options. And then Shakir is looking like the number one with the Bills. The Bills are absolutely on fire right now. The Ravens are leaking some points in the passing game. We saw it week 1, and then we saw it, against the Cowboys late. Total is 46.5. I'm going to go with Shakir here just because, maybe the Niners get ahead in this game. We see a little bit, just a lot of running maybe with Garendo and Mason. That's sort of the game script favors the Bills a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Jennings could still go off. Like, you could get a strip sack like Bosa or something, then Jennings next play, touchdowns, shit like that. But, yeah, it's very close. Either one is fine, but I'll go Shakir here.
I'm actually going to lean Shakir. I think he's safer over Jennings because they still have Brandon Ayuk, and we're waiting for Brandon Ayuk to get going.
Yep.
And what if this is the week? And Steve brings up a good point. The game script, like this is a must-have game for the 49ers because like right now the Seahawks are playing really well, and you can't keep losing games and the Seahawks keep winning them, and have that deficit in front of you.
Yeah, no, the math doesn't work out. Yeah.
They have to come out and win. This could also be a slower paced game because the Patriots, if they can get the ground, you can run on 49ers this year. And if they can get the ground game going with Ram Stevenson, this could be a slower paced game. I just feel like Shakir, he has not seen volume. Despite giving us over 10.6 PPR points every game, 10, 13, and 19 last week, he's only seen 3, 6, and 5 targets. He has played exactly 31 offensive snaps in each of the first 3 games. He's actually third in team snaps at the wide receiver position, but when he's in there, he's running routes, he's getting used, and he does look like the number 1 wide receiver in this offense. for the first time this year, and this is why I don't think he's getting the volume. They didn't have to throw the football. They're going to have to throw the football in this matchup. Baltimore, they got some confidence. They kicked Dallas's ass. And now this is another must-have matchup for the Ravens at home. They're going to come out swinging. And for the first time this year, I think the Bills are going to be playing from a deficit. The good thing is when it comes to fantasy, Baltimore, they are a bottom 4 team in fantasy points allowed to the wide receiver position. So I think Shakir is the way to go.
All right, and then we'll make this one quick because we got a lot of questions coming up here. I will just tell you guys, if you do send in a super chat, you cut the line, we'll answer you right away. So just keep that in mind. But also he did ask, also PPR, Kincaid versus Baltimore, obviously, or Cole Kmet. He says not sure who the opponent is, but we have the opponent there, and he's going up against the Rams. I love Kmet this week. Anthony did a great job with the tight ends. I had actually picked them, and I wasn't feeling so hot this morning, so he valiantly stepped in and did it. But as much as I love Cole Kmet this week, I think I would go. I think I'm going Dalton Kincaid, because the thing that's happened with Dalton Kincaid here in these games, the games have gotten they've gotten to the point where like the Bills are just winning by so much. They don't need to really throw the ball a lot. I think this game in particular against the Ravens, this could be one of those offensive slugfests, like a blow for blow. And if it's a blow for blow, then they're gonna throw to Kincaid as well as Shakir. So I think I would go Shakir slightly, but I would bet that these guys at the end of the week finish within like 5 points of one another. Like I don't think either one does way better than the other. But I'd go Kincaid. Steve, do you have a quick thought on that?
Yeah, both good matchups, both defenses in bottom 5 against tight ends this year so far. So yeah, I mean, Kmet towards the end of that game was just getting peppered with targets. But Caleb did throw the ball 52 times. Yeah. So I mean, they may have to do that again because their run game is ass. So they just got to freaking throw it all the time.
That's what
unless they get Roshan Johnson going, which would make Jamie very happy. Jamie might run through a brick wall if Roshan gets going this week. But yeah, I'm going to go with Kincaid as well. I got to go with the guy that I drafted higher. I'm going to go with the start your studs philosophy here.
Yep.
Yeah. If there's any way you can start both, put one of them in your flex. I don't know what the rest of your team looks like. I think both are very much startable this week, but I'm going to go with you guys as well. Start your studs. Go with Dalton Kincaid. He got involved last week, and again, just what I said about Khalil Shakir, about this matchup, and about, they're going to finally have to throw the football if Baltimore does their job, and I think they will. And Dalton Kincaid should also be a part of this passing attack. But like Cole Kmet is one of my like top tight end starts of the week. So if you can sneak him in there, I would.
All right, let's go a little rapid fire here, a little bit, maybe a little bit, just a bit. Ahmad's asking Kyler or Daniels. They play each other. This is true. They play each other. I'm going Kyler slightly over Daniels, but I think they're both going to put on a show this weekend. That's where I would go. Anthony?
Yeah, it's close.
It's close.
I'm going to lean.
This is another one of those things where they might finish within a few points of one another.
I'm going to lean Kyler Murray.
Steve?
Yeah, it's a nice problem to have, having those two quarterbacks. Well, maybe it's not a nice problem to have because you're going to probably rip your hair out. But at least you're stealing from the rest of the league by having those two guys. So there you go. But Kyler, the one thing I would say is Trey McBride coming back, still in concussion protocol. So, maybe if he's out, but if he has all his weapons at his disposal, McBride and Harrison. I know Harrison was a little dinged up this week, but we expect him to play. Michael Wilson stepped up last week. So if he has those guys, I think considering the Commanders defense continues to get torched every single week, and maybe Gannon has a little bit of something for, Daniels this week, coming off a big high, big win too on Monday night. Maybe this is a little bit of a letdown game. Arizona might be a little bit more focused coming off their loss. So let's go Kyler here. I just, but if he doesn't have McBride, I may lean Daniels.
I'm not too worried about like I get McBride's a big loss, but where you crush this team is on the perimeter. And Marvin Harrison, 3 touchdowns past 2 games. Michael Wilson. I'm starting almost every quarterback and wide receiver against the Commanders. So I get why we would go the other way, but like Kyler, this is a must-have matchup for him. This offense going to cook this week.
Okay, let's make this last answer quick because we do now have a super chat. Hamad also asks at the end of this question. He said he needs to start one. Carson Steele, Darnell Mooney, or Michael Pittman. I'm going to be quick here. I'm going to say Darnell Mooney. Quietly, Drake London has 24% target share. Darnell Mooney's got 23. So he's getting the ball. And I said it all summer. Kirk Cousins was interested in Darnell Mooney being on the Atlanta Falcons. So there should be no surprise that now he is getting peppered with targets. So Darnell Mooney would be the play for me. Guys, you guys can quickly answer. Anthony, I'll go to you and then Steve.
Yeah, I'm going to go Mooney as well. He's been hot, getting targets, making a big play.
Yeah, I agree. Kirk probably sat on the sideline all those years watching Mooney ball out a little bit, that 1,000-yard year with Fields. So, yeah, Steele, now you got Hunt in the mix. So we'll see if Hunt gets some work here this week. Steele, 17 for 72, kind of just ramming up the middle, but needs to get into the end zone. And we'll see what Hunt or P. Ryan maybe go. But, I got to go Mooney, more upside here.
Yeah, I think all three of those guys have trouble getting into the end zone. Yeah, I think. But all right, so let's get to the super chat. This is coming from Vic. Vic, we appreciate you, buddy.
Hey.
He says, I am at a loss, fellas. 3. Pick my lineup, please. Kyler, Goff, Cook, Rob Jr., Chuba Hubbard, Rashid Rice, Tyreek Hill, Marvin Harrison Jr., Shaheed, Shakir, Adunze, 3 wide receivers, 1 flex. He's got Kincaid at tight end. Yeah, you keep Kincaid right where you got him. We talked about Kincaid a little bit earlier, but all right. So he needs 3 wide receivers here and 1 flex. I'm going to leave the question up there, and I'm going to go grab myself a drink. And you know what, Steve, I'll give you the first crack at this one. Anthony looks like he's thinking too hard.
Yeah, well, first off, the quarterbacks, right? He wants to decide between Goff and Kyler. I think I would go Kyler there over Goff. And then the flex, we got a lot of guys here to choose from. James Cook, B-Rob, Chuba, Rashid Rice obviously is sticking in there. I like Marvin Harrison, Shaheed, Shakir, Odunze. So I think I would go with definitely Rashid Rice. Tyreek Hill I'm going to roll with. I'm going to bank on Tyler Huntley starting this week, and I'm going to give them a little bit of a boost. I think Huntley could get Tyreek the ball. Again, this guy started for the Ravens. He started a playoff game. He's way better than freaking Skylar Thompson and Tim Boyle. So those two for sure. Then I guess if Harrison's out there, you got to throw him in there. And then the flex, it's either Chuba, James Cook. So I guess we got to go with James Cook here, right? Or B. I mean, you got so many good choices here. I'm going to go with James Cook, I guess, as the flex there.
I would have gone with Chuba over James Cook, but I also wouldn't argue with you too hard about it.
So I'm looking at here. Obviously, Rice is in there for me. Harrison's in there for me. I'm not touching Tyreek Hill right now until I see what this quarterback position is going to do. Not touching Shaheed in this matchup. Shakir and Adunze are very much attractive to me. So for the receivers, I'm going Rice, Harrison. And honestly, I think if you want to play it safe, Shakir, if you want to go the upside route, I think Rome Adunze, I'm really buying into this Bears offense with this set of matchups coming up. They started popping a little bit last week. At the tight end, it's Kincaid. Running backs, I'm not sitting Brian Robinson Jr. There's no Austin Eckler, and he gets to Cardinals. He has to be in there. I think Chuba Hubbard has to be in there as well.
You can only pick one. You can only pick one.
Shit.
Yeah.
Come on, Anthony. Learn the rules.
It's fucking hard.
I might
see why he's at a loss.
Is it crazy to sit?
Sucks that he's 0-3.
Is it crazy to sit down Cook for Hubbard and?
I just said to Steve, I would do Hubbard over Cook, but I also wouldn't argue with Steve like it's not a pizza bet thing. I think they're close, but I would go Hubbard. I mean that Panthers offense looked absolutely revived without.
It's not even that. It's the matchup against
the
Cincinnati.
matchup is good too. Yes, the matchup is good too. Yeah, which only helps.
And Chuba Hubbard, he's playing for his job because Brooks can come back any game.
Yeah, he can.
So I think he's going to do everything he can to keep a heavy workload moving forward, even with the rookie incoming. But yeah, it's this Ravens defense, you can throw on them. I think they're still pretty good against the run.
Oh, he says 2 running backs also. So I guess he gets 3 receivers, a flex plus 2 running backs.
Yeah, that's okay.
So yeah, I would go Cook and B-Rob. I would sit Chuba, but for the 2 running backs.
I mean, I would go B-Rob and Chuba.
Yeah, I'm going B-Rob and Chuba. Yeah. I think Cook can have a nice day but I think when it comes to ceiling, I think both of them might have a little bit of a higher ceiling.
Yeah. Me not picking Cook doesn't mean that I don't think Cook is good.
So then you could throw Tyreek in there. You can go Rice, Hill, Harrison, and Shakir for the 3 receivers and 1 flex. Unless you guys like a Dunze over Hill, but I can't sit. I Hill for Roman Dunze.
I know it's gross, and this is the thing I keep saying because I've seen this a lot, like on
unless Skylar Thompson's starting or Tim Boyle, then I'll do it. But if Huntley's starting, I like Huntley to boost them this week.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. But I'm just, like, people keep saying on social media, like, this is so gross to do, and my response has been, well, this whole season so far has been gross.
Yeah.
So like maybe you need to get a little gross right now, I like a Dunze and I like Caleb Williams this week. Caleb showed me something.
Yeah.
You guys know I was ragging on him hard all last week, and he showed me something during that second half. So
Tennessee have allowed the 3rd fewest PPR points to wide receivers. Remember last year that Tennessee matchup was the matchup. Tyreek got hurt. And they just, week 14, really minimized this Dolphins offense that was rolling game after game up to that point.
All right, there you go. We appreciate that
super
chat.
And quarterback, what did you guys say for quarterback? Okay. I think I'm going to go Kyler over Goff.
Yeah, Kyler. Yeah, which Steve said the same thing. But there you go. So lesson pointed out there to you. You send in a super chat. We stop what we're doing. We answer you right meow. Let's get to another question. JD over on the Facebook. Our Facebook group is very strong. We appreciate the shit out of you guys. Geno or Anthony Richardson? I assume it's AR. I think we need to be specific now because if it's AR, is Aaron Rodgers or Anthony Richardson? I'm going to assume Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I think it's.
And I hate Anthony Richardson this week. I'm sorry. Anthony talked about it earlier. The completion percentage going up against the Steelers. Steelers are pretty good defense as per usual. I've liked what I've seen out of this Seahawks offense. So I'm going Geno Smith here, and I'm not even thinking twice about it.
Yeah, I agree. Steelers number 2 against quarterbacks so far this year against Cousins, Herbert, Bo Nix. So yeah, got to go Geno here. I like Richardson a little bit more than last week, but Geno gets the nod here against the Lions on Monday night.
Yeah, the big one here for me when it comes to Geno Smith, he has played this matchup has been like fantasy point heaven. Past 2 years, these 2 teams have played in Detroit. So going back to 2022, 48-45, Geno Smith, 34.9 fantasy points. 2023, 37-31, Geno Smith, 26.4. He's in 3 career games. His average is 25.4 against the Detroit Lions. And once again, this game is in Detroit. I think it's going to be like points galore. I'm going to follow that trend.
Yeah, sure. And keep in mind, just a little note for you guys to remember, this is another week with 2 Monday night games. Tennessee at Miami.
I like it.
And as Anthony was talking about, Seattle. All right. Yeah, let's get to the other
Our
super
guy
chat.
Misfit's back.
What up, Misfits?
Yeah.
What's up, man?
He said, "What's up, boys?"
Super Chat City.
That's right. Let's do it. He said, "I got offered JSN from McLaurin. He's got Neighbors. He's got Cooper, A. Brown, and Waddle. JSN has a good matchup coming. We literally just discussed that, so it's good timing. He's 2-1 in a 10-team full point per reception league. So, would you guys do JSN for Terry McLaurin?"
Well, I'm a Terry guy. And he's the number one option there on the Commanders.
Sweet ass catch on Monday night too.
Yeah, beautiful. And he called that too. He went up to Cliff. He said, "Let me run this route," and he actually added a little bit of a double move there. And yeah, perfect throw. Daniels got hit, so that was a good sign all around. I just think JSN definitely is going to have some big games. I just think that and have a nice season. I just think he's dealing with Metcalf. He's also dealing with Lockett. Whereas McLaurin is, kind of by far away the number one guy there. Maybe Luke McCaffrey steps up a little bit, and they have the running game. But yeah, I'm going to keep McLaurin. I think he's going to be better overall this year.
I'm gonna go JSN. I've been on JSN all off season long, and the new OC Grubb coming from Washington, it's working. Geno Smith looks like he's playing like the guy from 2 years ago. Seattle wide receivers, when it comes to fantasy production and overall wide receiver production, they are third in the NFL behind the Texans and 49ers. 52 receptions, 598 yards, 2 touchdowns. So this offense is clicking under Grubb, and I want a piece of this offense more so than Commanders wide receivers, who collectively they're 30th.
Mike, you got to break the tie here.
I am going to break the tie. I'm going to do that right now. And I'm just checking one other thing because I do like both players. I like JSN in terms of the possible boom weeks, but if I'm looking for consistency, because I think it's going to come. Listen, we saw Monday night was a lot different than what we saw from the first 2 weeks with Jaden Daniels. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you want to just look at the first 2 weeks, then that sounds like an asinine comment for me to make. But what we saw Monday night, hey, maybe Jaden Daniels is getting used to this being an NFL quarterback thing. So I'm going to go McLaurin here. I mean,
might be a good pizza bet. Might be a good pizza bet here.
It might be a good pizza bet. We could skate on that. Terry McLaurin right now has a 24% target share. There is not one other wide receiver on this roster with double-digit target percentage. And yes, maybe that has a lot to do with what we saw in the first 2 weeks that I previously mentioned. But
how much is the passing volume, right? Lower passing volume, higher passing volume.
No, I get it. That's why I'm not arguing. Like, I don't hate that you pick JSN. I'm not going to rip you for it because I like him too, and I like him more than I liked him over the summer. So I'm eating a little bit of a crow on that, which is fine. But
both guys have just had one good game. Really, both have kind of 2 slow games and 1 big game.
Yeah, and in this case, I go McLaurin, but I like both players. I think it's a fair trade too. Might I add?
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of who you prefer, really. I mean,
it's
very close.
But we appreciate that super chat. And again, send in a super chat. We'll answer right away. And also, we've got 27 people watching live. We love every 27 of you. You're all beautiful in your own.
More than 27, but I guess we're talking about YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah, I got the YouTube. Okay, Anthony. Relax. Okay, Anthony. Make yourself feel better. Give everybody the exact
numbers are going up. Let's go. The numbers are moving up.
I don't want to make
it. 27 sounds so, 27.
Right. The point being, for the love of
Yankees
God,
have 27 championships.
Here we go. All right. Here we go. You guys done yet? You guys done? I'm actually trying to do something productive. I'm saying, you people on YouTube, 27 of you, feel free to hit the like button. Unless you can't stand this shit that these two on both sides of me are spewing out right now. But all right, let's get to the next question. I'll yell at them later. T-Dog asks, do I trade Derrick Henry and Laporta for Kelsey, Pittman, and Aaron Jones? Steve, I'll go to you first in this one, but I will just point out, though, Laporta did not practice today. Just got to putting that out there into the question. We all know Kelsey struggled lately, but Steve, I'll go to you first, man. Do you make this trade or no?
I mean, the big dog, man. I mean, this guy is on this insane diet. He takes insane care of his body. 30, 31 years old with a lot of mileage. Maybe those, couple years behind DeMarco Murray and Deion Lewis kind of prolonged his career a little bit. And it's hard to trade the big dog right now. You saw the Ravens just commit to him last week, bringing in Charlie Kohler to block. And this is going to he's changed the identity of this team. And that's why we're seeing Andrews suffer here.
I think we consistently see that though.
No. It's gonna be game plan driven, probably in game, of course, but I mean, he's still gonna clean up around the goal line. Even if he doesn't have big yardage days, he'll be the goal line guy. So And Laporta, a mild ankle injury. So I don't think it's a high ankle. I think it's just a low ankle. So he should be back. So Pittman's been bad. Kelsey, he definitely should come around. If you're going to ask me if I want Kelsey or Laporta the rest of the way, I probably prefer Kelsey, of course. And then Aaron Jones, I love. So you're getting the 3 for 2, but I don't know, man. I think I got to stick with the big dog. It's pretty close.
Anthony, what says you?
Yeah, I think this trade, right? Like it's Henry for Aaron Jones. Both are pretty productive right now. Aaron Jones might actually be outproducing Derrick Henry. Laporta and Kelsey, that's about a push at this point. And then, it seems like Pittman's a throw-in. Yeah. I'm gonna probably want to keep Derrick Henry and Sam Laporta. I don't know. It's the only productive pieces in this deal are the 2 running backs. And who runs the ball? I'm gonna assume that even if Derrick Henry has a bad game, we've seen him get red zone opportunities and score touchdowns in all 3 games. So at least we know if you put him in your lineup week after week, he's going to have scoring opportunities and touchdown upside. Derrick Henry running back 7 in PPR. I think Aaron Jones is not far behind him. So I don't know. I guess I'm going to stick with what you have. Stick with Derrick Henry and Sam Laporta. I just don't love. I need to see a pulse out of Kelsey again. It's just this is bad.
Yep, I hear you. All right, Zach. Not even a friend of the show at this point. He's a good cousin that we always talk to every day, or at least once a week.
Johnny fucking Wilson.
Yeah, it says, do we like Leggett and Johnny fucking Wilson this week? I emphasize the
Johnny
fucking for you, Zach, just because I like you. Steve, you enjoyed this question. You had a good chuckle. You can answer first.
I kind of am a little bit intrigued by Leggett. Thielen is out for 4 weeks now. I liked Leggett a lot coming out of South Carolina. I did a double take on him. Didn't like him nearly as much. Maybe he's not winning the matchups like he did in college, but he's a big body, 6'3". He's got some good speed. He's going to be the second most targeted guy on this team, and Dalton slinging it around. This is going to be a shootout, I think, again with the Bengals and the Panthers. So I prefer him. I mean, I don't know what the Eagles are really going to do. Devonta, AJ Brown are out. They got Jahan Dotson. They still got Goddard. They got Barkley. So I kind of think Leggett has a better chance, and I like Leggett more as a prospect. Obviously, Leggett was a first-round pick. Johnny Wilson, I don't know, met what, fifth round, something like that. So I'm going to go with the draft capital here and the guy I like better in Leggett and the better matchup here as well.
Johnny Wilson was actually 6th rounder.
6th round. There you go. So even worse.
Yeah, I'm going with Leggett as well. Goddard, I think he's going to have a big game. He has to have a big game. I think he's going to be heavily leaned on, as is Saquon Barkley. Now, all of these ancillary pieces, Dotson, Wilson, Campbell, Covey, any one of these guys could score a touchdown. We don't know who it's going to be. We just know that the 2-3 constants on this Philly offense against Tampa, who's not bad against wide receivers, we're probably going to get a lot of Saquon Barkley, a lot of Dallas Goedert, and a lot of running from Jalen Hurts. So, I feel like it's less guessing with Leggett, who's probably going to be the starter in 2 or 3 wide sets.
Yeah. Misfits did pop back in with one more super chat referring to his previous question. He said, if I could do it done, would you give Waddle for JSN? If he can get it done, I guess is what he's saying. Or if he, whatever. He's fucking asking.
I can do it
JSN.
Done. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
If I knew Tua was not coming back, I would say yes. But the fact that we could still potentially get Tua in a couple weeks, then we're going to get that same upside we bought into Jalen Waddle for. So I don't know if I can do it. Because Jalen Waddle potentially come back, and if this offense gets going again with Tua,
I'm gonna I agree with Anthony, but this isn't even fantasy related. This is just life and health. And every time Tua drops back, if he comes back this year, I'm gonna hold my breath every single time, or every time he goes to run. I hate it for him. But Steve, what do you think there?
Yeah, I don't think Tua said he doesn't want to retire. When is he coming back? I don't think he's going to come back directly off that IR, so it might take a couple more weeks. Sure. But if the Dolphins come out and win tonight, then yeah, I mean, Tua might get a little more,
Monday.
Antsy to come back. Yeah, Monday night. But if they lose to the Titans, they're 1-3. They start dropping games. Is Tua going to want to come back? So we really don't know. I think either way, though, without Tua, it's pretty close. Just Waddle for JSN straight up. So with the upside of Tua possibly coming back, I think maybe you just hold on to Waddle. Again, I do like Tyler Huntley to kind of help this offense. So, take it for what it's worth. But I think could be even regardless the rest of the way, even without Tua.
We have officially.
I don't mind if you want to make that deal, though.
Sure. No, yeah, okay, yeah, same, but yeah. We have officially gotten to the point where we have so many questions and so much time has gone by. We are now going to go from the bottom and work our way up. And also, again, if you ask the question, you could just send it in again, and then we'll answer it. And also, the super chat thing is a very real thing. You've seen that done before. The mighty Quinn, Jason Quinn, is asking over on X. Again, a lot of JSN today. JSN, Deontay Johnson, Ford, or Rico at flex. It's half point per reception. Well, Deontay popped up on the injury report, so it's something to keep an eye on. Obviously, really? Deontay is going to play before JSN does. I think I want to fact check the injury first, but he did pop up on the report. But Anthony, I'll go to you first here. What says you? Oh, yeah, sorry.
This is really a two-man race for me between JSN and Jack and Deontay Johnson. And after what Deontay did last week, he's going to bring, he's that high floor player and even brought the ceiling last week that we drafted him for.
Groin issue. Sorry, Anthony, to interject.
I just saw that he practiced yesterday, didn't practice today, but he's expected back tomorrow. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Right. Just keep an eye on it. But go ahead, Anthony. Sorry.
I think the safe play is Deontay, but again, I just talked about how many points are scored in this Monday night matchup in Detroit. And Detroit secondary, they're kind of getting gashed a little bit.
Oof.
I don't know. The total is very close. It's actually a 1 point higher total, believe it or not, in Cincinnati. I don't know what Vegas is thinking with a 46.5 total, but I love the over in that game. I don't know. I'm going to go Deontay. I think he's safer, but I don't know. Gut feeling on JSN, and he potentially pops this week. But Deontay is definitely the safer play.
Yeah. I like Deontay. Again, check the practice reports. If he's back full tomorrow, that's if he's limited, then maybe a little bit concerned. You could check all the way up to Sunday. But yeah, Deontay is going to get peppered. He looked absolutely terrific last week with Dalton. Dalton was just throwing dimes to him. And he was breaking tackles, creating yaks. So yeah, again, he's the number one guy. JSN, he's dealing with Metcalf and Lockett a little bit. So I got to go with Deontay.
We got two super chats, and one of them is actually impacting me. So let's go with the first one here because he came first. So, or that's what she said. Jordan is asking with a $5 super chat. Appreciate you, Jordan. Non-PPR. JK or Singletary, and would you start pick 3? Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Devonta Smith, Leggett, Mooney, JSN, Odunze. All right, so we could do the running back part first, and then we can dig into the wide receivers. So really, it's J.K. Dobbins or Devin Singletary. I'm going Devin Singletary here. I mean, the Cowboys have shown you in the first 3 weeks that they have a clear issue without Dan Quinn. They are getting gouged in the running game, which is why I love the over on the Daniel Jones 32.5 rushing yards tonight. So I'm going Singletary there. Guys, you have the same opinion or something else?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know if Herbert's going to play. I mean, it sounds like he's coming back to play, but we could get Taylor Heineke. Maybe he re-aggravates it again. So he's not going to be 100%. So yeah, I think I got it. I mean, I love JK, obviously, you guys know it, but I got to go with Singletary. I think Singletary will have a good game, so you should be fine.
Yeah, and Chiefs are one of the best run defenses as it is, and if there is a limited or no Justin Herbert, there's going to be stacked boxes. So even if we see an increase in volume from J.K. Dobbins, he's going to have a majestic day to return fantasy points. So we're looking at a very much touchdown dependent option. And yeah, you're right. Devin Singletary is to play. But I want to correct you. This is not a Dan Quinn problem. This is a Dallas defense problem. If you remember down this stretch last year, how did Buffalo beat them?
Point.
It was James Cook. Josh Allen barely threw the ball. It was James Cook. How did Green Bay get him? Aaron Jones. So like this, if you
so it's a reoccurring theme. It's not a Dan Quinn thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Dallas's front seven have no testicles.
Yeah, Bijan.
That's a problem.
They don't have balls, and I think
got no balls.
Said that this week.
You have no bubbles. All right.
Marbles. We need to bring that clip up. 1.94 for Bijan last week against the Chiefs.
I will get that clip, Steve. Don't worry about it. I'll get that before the sun comes up. Anyway, Tyreek Hill, Mike Evans, Devonta Smith, Leggett, Mooney, JSN, and Adunze. He needs 3. I'm going Mike Evans and a bounce back. I'm going, as much as I love Mooney, I think I'd go. Oh shit! I'm definitely going Adunze because I'm feeling Adunze this week. I think I'll go Mooney as my 3rd. So I'll go Mike Evans, Mooney, Adunze would be my 3. Guys, Anthony, go ahead.
If Devonta gets his way back, I'll go with those first 3.
Yeah,
but it sounds like
damn near decapitated. Yeah.
Sounds like he's going to be out. So I'm going to go Tyreek, Evans, and JSN.
Guy's probably lucky he could chew food this week, much less fucking playing a game. But
obviously, if Devonta's up, for me, it's going to be Evans, Devonta, and Adunze. If Devonta sits, my pivot is JSN. I'm not starting Tyreek Hill this week. Not against Tennessee, and not until I see how he plays that quarterback.
Pizza bet JSN or Adunze versus Tyreek Hill.
I'll do 100%. I won't do JSN. I'll do Adunze versus Tyreek this week.
Right.
This week.
Yeah, this week.
All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, fine. You could fuck all the way off with that, Steve, because I'm going to jump in the fray too. I'll make that bet too. There you go. You get those happy kids eating pizza. Let's do it.
There we go.
All right. My brother from another mother, Eric in the shower, $20 super chat. He says, hey, guys, I don't really need any fantasy advice this week since my team is riddled with injuries. I'm playing my arch nemesis. Spoiler alert, that's me. We're in the same home league together. I just need some words of encouragement.
Is he playing ATL? Is this why he's dropping?
No, he's playing me. That's why he's saying arch nemesis. We're not arch nemesis. He's my brother from another mother. I would take a bullet for the man. Even though he's too big of a body, I can't cover him if I jump in front of him. But be that as it may. You guys can give him words of encouragement. I will just tell you, I hope you fucking lose by 1,000 points, but I'll also be there to hand you tissues when you lose. Guys, you have any words of encouragement for a $20 super chat?
Is Eric a Mets fan?
No, he despises baseball with every fiber of his being.
All right, so I was going to say the Mets are maybe setting up for another epic collapse. So as the Mets go down,
God damn it.
Eric, you could kind of, roll that Mets collapse with Mike's fantasy team collapse and get that W. So you should feel pretty good.
I will just for context purposes, Anthony, you can give him some words of encouragement. I'm just going to read off quickly the matchup.
Oh, yeah, read up the matchup before we can't both talk at the same time. So you give me the matchup and then I'll talk.
Oh, is that how podcasting works? Oh, shit. I just learned this now.
Well, you just said it. You gave him a word of encouragement.
I was saying
the matchup.
I was trying to log in. Yeah, exactly. Steve's telling you to shut the fuck up. He just said that. He anyway. He's 2-1. He's got Daniel Jones starting tonight because he doesn't trust Anthony Richardson, Jordan Mason, Alvin Kamara, Jaden Reed. He's got Wilson going for the Cardinals, Wan'Dale Robinson tonight, Kyle Pitts, T. Higgins. He's got Josh Allen, by the way, and Mr. KO0, Young-Ho Koo, and the Texans defense. That's who he's got. Who I have, Lamar Jackson, Bijan Robinson, Chuba Hubbard, George Pickens, Khalil Shakir, Malik Neighbors, Zach Ertz for now, Zach Moss, Jared Goff, Chris Boswell, and the Bears defense. So there you go.
No, the words of encouragement is anything can happen in football and in fantasy football. Mike's team. No, I mean, it could happen where his team might go off this week. Your team might not show up. I mean, especially this season, literally anything can happen. I don't trust a damn thing that I've seen or not seen yet.
Well, you got Josh Allen and Young-Ho. I think you're going to get it done.
There's always a chance. By the way, this was the same draft where He was the one who was half naked throwing around his lawn furniture by the end of the night. That's how drunk he got.
Okay.
Yeah, that was him. That was this guy. That was this wonderful human being. So, and I drank enough Jack to kill a horse. So it was a good time. All right. Anyway, comments. Let's get back to some comments here. I'll tell you guys if you got he said, I hate. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He commented. He said he hates baseball, just to confirm. And he said,
I hate baseball too.
He also said, "What's a Mets? You know what the fucking Mets is. Don't do that to me."
Baseball
is
literally the worst thing alive to me.
Anthony, this is a little shout out for us. Waldorf and Stadler are back. Yeah, there you go. That's how we roll. All right, let's get to another question here. A lot of people saying that they appreciate the help, and we appreciate helping you guys. We appreciate you guys being here. So
show us you appreciate us by hitting the like button, by the way.
That's what I was going to say. Good job, Anthony. See, now you're getting the hang of it. There you go. Hey, feel free to hit that like button. All right. Anthony, I'll give this one to you here. Would you trust the Cowboys DST tonight against the New York Football Giants?
I mean, depending on what other options you have to pivot to, like it could, like they normally destroy the Giants. Again, this is not your typical Dallas defense as we've seen in the past, but this is a familiar situation. The last time they were in this stadium was a 40-0 football game in the season opener last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do I trust them? No. Am I using them myself? Yeah, because like this is also the type of matchup where Dallas can come out and they could look like the best team in the NFL again. And they could score 52 points, give up 10, or defensive touchdown, like do the Dallas thing where they make themselves look great and then they play a good team and get smoked. This is what Dallas does. So, I mean, we don't know what we're going to get.
Jamie with the super chat says, just wanted to say Roshan Johnson. That's all. All right, buddy. You got it.
Awesome.
Done.
Yeah, Roshan was a big pickup this week, so let's see if he can deliver.
Yeah, he was. Just to backtrack,
he's going to take that starting job if he plays well, too.
Yes, just because Eric from the shower, he wanted words of encouragement. He did ask in a later comment, could I read off his bench to you guys? So I guess maybe if there's a name you hear that you say start him instead, whatever. We have a deep bench in this one. So he's got, and I'm not going to read off mine, but he's got Anthony Richardson. I'll read off the injuries too, because he wants me to. Anthony Richardson, CMC, Cortland Sutton, AJ Brown, Jahan Dotson, Isavas, is that how they pronounce it?
Yoshi. Just remember Yoshi.
Oh, Yoshi.
And then you go Yoshivas. That's how I figured it out.
Done. Okay, so Yoshivas, Bucky Irving, who obnoxiously fell into the injury report, and obviously Nick Chubb, whom he can't use yet. So, I mean, you guys can answer. I guess the only things you're really thinking about here would be Yoshivas, Anthony Richardson. Do you start him over Daniel Jones or, Sutton?
No.
Does any of that jump out to you guys?
What? No. Who are his receivers again?
His receivers that he currently has starting.
Starting.
He's got Jaden Reed. He's got Wan'Dale Robinson, Michael Wilson, and he's also got T. Higgins in his flex spot.
Yeah, I'm just going to stick with that. Like if it was any other matchup, I would say maybe flip Yoshivas in. Otherwise, I think you're fine. Michael Wilson, I think he could probably score this week with the Commanders matchup.
Yeah, that's a good matchup. Yeah, Yoshibas has been good, scored back-to-back weeks. Sutton, I would say, but he's going to deal with Sauce a lot and, good Jets defense. So, I think you're okay.
Right. So, and Steve, I know Anthony gave a quick no. Would you play Anthony Richardson over Daniel Jones tonight?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
You would? Okay.
Yeah.
No.
I personally...
I'm not... you just... What?
I said... Can you
relax? Daniel Jones, I would start over Richardson. Yeah,
I said that. I literally said that. God, pay attention to the show, man. It's like
I thought you said something. I thought you said the other way around.
God damn, man, what's going on over there?
I really thought you said the other way around.
What happened at that pool party that day? What happened there? What happened, buddy?
I think more damage was done to Ibiza.
Yeah, fuck it.
Sure.
Now it's just a rolling ball. No, I was saying that you had said to do Daniel Jones instead of Anthony Richardson. So I was asking Steve if he's in line with that same thought. I would, and even though I'm playing the guy, I would start Daniel Jones over Richardson.
Yeah.
So, all right. Glad we got that cleared up. And Anthony, I'm glad you're back on planet Earth where you belong, buddy. All right. We're gonna go for another, 10, 15 minutes, but feel
We
free
have
to send
another
in some.
super chat. By the
No,
way.
no. I think we got to the other one. The other one.
No,
was
we got
another...
one right here from Pete.
Oh, Pete, you stupid son of a bitch. Pete had some water problems today.
You son of a mother. Go ahead.
Anthony had that? Where'd you get that from?
That is our chat sound.
Wait, what is that? Play it again.
You know what that is.
What was that? Was that Jane Fonda? What the fuck?
Jesus. No, play it again.
Yeah. Hacksaw fucking Jim Duggan, man.
Yeah, man. Get after it, buddy.
That is
I
great.
never
That is the official super chat sound drop.
That is pretty dope.
Bust out the 2x4s, bust out the Coke. Let's get it fucking rocking.
Bushwhacks, the bushwhackers.
Yeah, sure, those idiots too. Yeah. Pete said, "Would I do Pitts? No, I would not do Pitts. I'm straight. But would you do Pitts and Shakir for Ferguson and JSN? Actually, it's actually a good question.
Ferguson's gonna smash Pitts this year.
Yeah, I think I would do Ferg and JSN over Kyle Pitts and Shakir, even though I'm hopelessly devoted to Shakir.
Yeah, I think that tight end upgrade is too good to pass up. Now, Pitts, certainly it's been 3 weeks. Things could change. Again, he needs a firecracker up his ass.
I know. But at what point do you
I agree. We keep waiting on this guy every single freaking year. So I agree. It's tough to give up our boy Shakir, but you're getting JSN back. So,
and I said last week, I said if there was a week for Pitts to pop, it was against the Chiefs, who were getting gouged in the previous 2 games against tight ends. He had that one big catch for whatever it was, 40, 50 yards.
He almost scored. He got tackled at the 1, right?
Of course, naturally, he lands right before the goal line. But yeah. So, yeah, that's just.
Yeah, I'm doing that deal. I just, as much as I like Pitts and the potential breakout, it's not happening. And Jake Ferguson is, the second target to Dak, as I think a lot of us predicted. And what do you have? 11 targets last week.
He looked great.
I think that's going to continue. Yeah.
He looked all the way back.
He's fucking he only missed a game, and that looked like a bad injury. So this dude's a warrior. Dak loves him. So I think I want to piece that plus JSN. And it sucks giving up Shakir is right.
Didn't Ferguson play through another injury last year? I think too.
I think so.
Yeah.
Or am I thinking of somebody else?
No. You got it. Dynamite is asking with a $5 super chat. Appreciate that. I'm in a league that awards 1.75 PPR to tight ends, so tight end premium. If Njoku plays, would you start him over Brian Thomas in flex? Thanks. Okay. I'm just going to give my quick Debbie Downer answer because you guys know I always...
You hate David Njoku.
No. I don't hate David Njoku. I hate Deshaun Watson throwing to his tight ends.
I hate Deshaun.
That's what I hate.
I think he connected with Akins for like 4 or 5 balls last week, didn't he?
Okay, good for fucking him. That was probably the highlight of him throwing a tight end.
And then week 1, it was decent. So
I get the allure of the extra points. So you know what? So maybe
he's
that
hurt
would sway me. Yeah, well, he's saying if he does play.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna play, but
I think I go Brian Thomas anyway. But I do get the allure of the tight end premium. But Anthony, do you have anything there?
I don't even know if Njoku's going to be active, obviously, but like before he did get hurt in week 1, he had 5 targets on 25 offensive snaps, ran 20 routes on offensive snaps. That's 25% target rate on routes run. So I do think he's going to be used, and I do think it's the right matchup. But
he was upgraded to limited today. Just FYI. Just if that helps, if you care.
Well, and then looking at Brian Thomas, what is promising is he was not targeted 9 times. First 2 games, he made a lot of plays on 4 targets apiece. He got a little bit of volume this week, only caught 5 for 48, but he has given us a high floor in 3 straight games. So I think I might just ride the hot hand.
Yeah, I like Thomas this week. Yeah, against a leaky Texans defense. Look what Alec Pierce did, burning Stingley in that safety, and Brian Thomas. I mean, he could burn anybody. I think 17 touchdowns. We already seen his speed already. So yeah, I think this is a good matchup for Brian Thomas. And again, I don't think Njoku's going to play. So let's go with Brian Thomas here.
Yeah.
Our own William Stevenson always comes in with the Good comments. He said, NFL Adult Movies Collection, Volume 1, Ferguson smashes Pitts. Oh, wait a minute. I got the music. Hold on a second. Jesus, what am I doing? I'm a terrible host. Hold on, everybody. I'm scrolling up. Anthony's so pissed right now. He's like, what are we doing? Look at that face. Everybody see Anthony's face? Everybody see his face? He's pissed. Where is it? Did you get rid of it? Oh,
no. Well, come on. I do like this music.
He calms down.
What is this from Boogie Nights? What is this?
I just searched royalty-free porn music, and this is what we got. This is what came up.
This is like 1974.
Okay, but as Anthony would say, let's be serious. And
hairy, everybody got hair on them all over the place.
Oh God, there's hair everywhere. Oh, geez, just too much hair. I got to sift through it. Icy Applesauce wants to know, what would you say is a good value for ETN, wide receiver or running back, full point per reception format? What was that? Full point per reception format standard redraft league? Sounds like an oxymoron. Can't be a
standard redraft, probably like a season long, not best ball.
Got it. Okay. So what's a good value for Travis Etienne? I don't know if you want to. I think the Jaguars are this offense is gonna play better soon, right?
We hope.
Well, obviously, yes, but
trying to think here. Brian Robinson Jr. I don't know. Montgomery.
I would say B-Rob over Montgomery, because B-Rob hasn't popped yet. You know, I feel like until ETN could be worth a lot more if he gets going, but when is that going to be? When are they going to make a coaching change off of Press Taylor, which will probably solve a lot of issues? So somebody
Higgins.
like Brian Robinson,
Higgins, McLaurin, J-Mo.
Yeah.
I don't know, Pickens maybe.
At that point, I'm keeping ETN. Actually,
I would if you could get Pickens, I would do it for Pickens.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Pickens really hasn't had his blow up game yet, and I think it may come.
Might happen this week. Yep.
And even though he hasn't had his blow up game, he's played well. I mean,
he's played.
He obviously got shut down against the Broncos, which is what we all expected. But I mean, outside.
But again, there was like 2 or 3 defensive pass interferences in that game. I think there was a touchdown call back on Pickens in that game too. So he did pretty good in that matchup for the most part.
So we got Pristine asking. Joe Carlton said that the music that we played kind of sounds like a 20K Pyramid Game Show theme song. So apparently I need to. I had to YouTube that. I know the show. I just don't remember the theme song. So
isn't it? $20,000 pyramid.
Whatever the hell it is. So I will YouTube that when I'm done. So I appreciate that, Joe. Thank you for that. Pristine wants to know, who should I start for my wide receivers? Choose 3 in a 12-man standard. Davante Adams, who showed up on the injury report with a hamstring injury. Also, he hates it there. Nico Collins, Amari Cooper, and Reed. So I assume that means Jaden Reed. So, all right, it's a standard league. We got to pick 3 of these guys. Anthony, I'll go to you first. What says you, man?
So 3 in a standard. So we're looking for touchdowns here.
Sure.
Nico. Obviously, a lot of these guys, Nico's banged up. I think DA's banged up as well. But, if these guys are active, I'm going Nico. Who does which is Amari is coming off that big game. And I might want to try. Yeah, I'm going to go Cooper. Revenge game.
At the Raiders.
And I will go Green Bay gets Minnesota. Love coming back. I might go. I might go Reed over Davante Adams if Jordan Love plays.
Okay.
If Jordan Love plays, you pivot.
Yeah, if Adams
or doesn't play,
I'm going Adams, Nico, Amari if they're all on the field.
Easy. All right. Joe, jump back in here real quick, just in case anybody wants to YouTube this. He did say, LOL. That's totally wrong. I don't know why I thought that. He's meant to say it's the music from when the plaintiff and defendant walked in during
what the hell is it called?
That was just whatever show. That's 1,000% true. That is 110% the
People's
music.
Court. People's Court.
Yeah, People's Court. It does sound like the
that
breaker.
is People's Court.
Yeah.
Jenny has charge. Fucking.
Jenny didn't pay the electric bill. Like,
there it is.
That's pretty much what it is.
Tom says he did.
But Joe, we appreciate the clarification because I'm sure that all how many people we have in here in this chat on YouTube, to be clear,
5,
all 26 of you. You guys might have wanted to run to YouTube. And we got 26 viewers, 26 likes. Fuck yeah, YouTube.
Good.
100%, baby.
All right.
We're like Khalil Shakir's catchable target rate right now.
Nice. Tyson Martinez says, cut one. Jonathan Brooks or Javonte Williams. This is interesting.
Javonte.
Anthony, you talked about how, Chuba's got to play well this week because Jonathan Brooks is just about back. We'll see how ready he is, how acclimated he is to NFL life. It's not always that easy, but we'll find out. So this is interesting. And you know what? Actually, Steve, I'll go to you first in this one, and then I'll go to Anthony. So,
yeah,
one of those guys.
You obviously you'd like to keep both running backs if you could, but if you have to cut one, it's got to be, for me, it's got to be Javonte. Has not looked good. Yeah, he's doing a good job in pass protection, but Batty looked pretty good last week. He may get more playing time. Aldrick Estime is going to work his way off the IR, so it could be more of a mix. And Brooks is, Canales said he's getting close, so he could be back maybe week 5, week 6, week 7, and he represents a lot more upside than Javonte Williams at this point. So I got to go with Brooks.
Yeah, I want to hold Brooks as well. I'm less worried about Beatty right now. I need to see more. A lot of that production, I believe, probably came in garbage time because Denver had a good control of that game. But Javonte, he's looked really bad. And the Carolina Panthers, and this is not just last week. Chuba Hubbard 2 weeks ago had him right around 10, 11 PPR points. Last week pops, and I think if this offense continues to go in the right direction, like a big reason why I was on Brooks and Chuba Hubbard was the offensive line. It wasn't a Chuba issue. It was a Bryce Young issue. I think we're going to start seeing this offensive line and this backfield perform like I thought they would. They did a good job, repairing the interior offensive line this offseason.
We'll be here for another couple of minutes. If you have any super chats, send them in. We do have one that we're going to get to right meow. But yeah, if you have any questions, send them in. If you have any super chats, send those in. But William Stevenson, nice. Oh, man, this fucking music gets me every time. It's too good to not dance to. It says, too soon to sell high on Deonta. A few plus matchups coming. Strike while the iron's hot or wait it out. Also, what hurts more than what hurts more than Anthony's face of disapproval? You know what hurts more than that, William? Is whenever I mention anything about the 49ers, I get this. I get that. I get this kind of shit.
Stupid fucking sound drop. Can we get?
So that's what we get. Anyway, is it too soon to sell high on Deonta? Which I assume he means Deontay Johnson.
Yeah,
I assume.
Yeah,
I got to hold Deontay Johnson. I
would too.
I like it's just going to be such a good connection. Look at what Thielen did with Bryce Young last year for the most part, and then that one game that Dalton played, Thielen went for like 12 catches for like $145. So this is just going to be Deontay Johnson's show, I think, unless Leggett steps up a little bit. But again, just a rookie. Deontay looked absolutely terrific. So yeah. I think you hold him. I mean, I think Dalton's going to have some dud games, of course, but he's going to have a good year.
Yeah, you're holding, because you're going to get some return. You're going to get a return compared to what you're going to get after the first 2 games. But, you just said it. He has a couple of good matchups. What if he comes out against Cincinnati and has another good game? What if he gives you another PPR points? Then all of a sudden his value is a little bit higher. So, I always like to wait. Don't sell after the first game. Sell after the second good game.
Yeah. All right. Just we'll make some of these quick. And I want to put this one up here quick because it is a Monday night game. Sold Shiesty is asking: start Zach Moss or Devin Singletary? I go Devin Singletary tonight. That's where I go. Whether it's PPR, whether it's standard, that's where I'm going. Doesn't even matter. I'm going with it. Guys, Either. Go ahead, Steve. You can go. I'm sorry. I should have. I should have.
No, I
ahead,
was
Steve.
I was looking at a text real quick. I'm gonna go with Devin Singletary as well. But Zach Moss is very close. But we did see Chase Brown get a little bit more work last week and looking pretty good. So yeah, let's go Singletary. He's the main guy. So let's go.
I'm going Zach Moss. Carolina, one of the worst. Even they were gashed the first 2 games, and last week, even when they were playing good defense and they limited the running backs, like Madison still pulled out a touchdown. And then yes, Chase Brown did see a little bit more work, but so did Moss. Moss 17 touches, including 5 of 6 targets for 39 yards. We thought that was going to be the Chase Brown role. Moss has now 11 targets on the season, 4 in week 1, 6 last week. He has scored a touchdown in 2 or 3 games, and you get a dream matchup against the Panthers. So I'm going to go Moss. And I like Singletary. But I feel a little bit more comfortable with Moss.
Jamie over on the X, formerly known as Twitter, he asks, would you drop DeAndre Swift or Ford for Bucky Irving? Then I guess he's asking, he's also saying Roshan or Javonte. My other RBs are Hall and Brooks. So, yeah, are you dropping Swift or Ford for Bucky Irving, Roshan Johnson, or Javonte Williams? Steve, I'm going to go to you first here because if I'm not, you like DeAndre Swift, don't you?
No,
I had him as a bust. That was my.
Oh yeah, my bad, man. Well, I'll go to you first anyway. That's fine. That's all good.
I used to like DeAndre Swift, and then the past couple of seasons I just got off him because just not getting it going. I would cut Swift. I think Ford has more value. We don't know what Chubb's going to look like when he comes back. He could get re-injured, and Swift's about to lose his job. So if you want to go 1-for-1 with Roshan, that can make sense. But Bucky is, you hear Todd Bowles coming out saying now we're going to go with the hot hand, basically. So this is like a toss-up at this point, and we've already seen Bucky look better than Rashad. And then Javonte has not looked good either. So I'm going to go with Bucky Irving here, even though he's got a little bit of another hamstring. The hamstrings is ridiculous this week. But, I think I'd go with Bucky there and drop Swift.
Anthony?
I'm going to – and I hate, letting go players like this, but, Swift just doesn't look good. Doesn't look like he fits into this offense in terms of their scheme and how they run the football. And Bucky Irving is the guy I want. It makes sense flipping the 2 Bears running backs, but I think the higher ceiling overall is probably going to be Bucky Irving.
All right, let's answer this one quick. Then we'll do one more question. If we get a super chat, we'll answer it. So now's your time. If you want to get a super chat in, you could send it in. If not, we will be here tomorrow as well. But I do want, because I was going to ask you guys this actually. So Joe is asking, and we'll make this one quick. Do you guys think Bryce Young gets another start this year? I say no, because I think Dalton can do just enough, even though, like Steve said, Dalton's not going to have great weeks every single week. But I don't think he's going to shit the bed to the point where they're going to go back to Bryce Young. Steve, do you agree with that line of thinking?
Yeah, pretty much. I know Canales and the Panthers organization mentioned this is kind of like a break or, like another reset like we saw with Zach Wilson. So, yeah, unless there's an injury or Dalton just completely plays like shit. Yeah. The Panthers are, they have like 2 or 3 wins and, it's the end of the year. Then, maybe they go back to Bryce Young at that point just to see what he's got towards the end. But if the Panthers are staying competitive, winning games, no, they're going to stick with Dalton.
Anthony, what says you? Do you think Bryce Young gets another start this year?
Barring injury, no.
All right. We'll answer one more question. If you guys send in a super chat, though, we'll keep the lights on. Arthur Nunez asks, start 3, Henry, Cook, Mason, and Singletary. He's got to start 3 of those guys. I'm starting Jordan Mason. I'm starting Devin Singletary tonight. And I'm going Derrick Henry. I mean, these are good running backs. James Cook is the odd man out for me, but that's my story.
I think the odd man out is Singletary for me.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the matchup isn't great. I got to go with the first 3 guys. Yeah. Cook's been too damn good, and the Bills want to establish it. Again, they made the matchup's
great for Singletary, though, no?
Yeah, no, it's a great matchup, but Cook's the stud there. So
yeah, Cook. I mean, I was down on Cook coming in. Obviously, a big Ray Davis fan.
Yeah, but, a lot of people were. I think it wasn't just because of Cook, but it was that 4th round where there was receivers that I liked better, and I liked Cook, but it was just And that was the case for some other players too. It just
And
the
Cooks,
price. Go ahead.
I would say he's getting it done as a receiver as well.
Oh yeah. Well, he did drop another touchdown last week, but still getting it done regardless. Yeah.
I will tell you guys. All right, so we're gonna wrap up now because we're at an hour and 15. I will tell you, beautiful people, that if you can't wait till tomorrow, if you ask a question after the show ends, if you comment, we will respond to the comment. Whether it's Anthony, whether it's Steve, myself, Pete, one of us will respond to you. Also, we will be live tomorrow with another one of these QA shows. We take great pride in answering you guys. A lot of people come on podcasts and they just spew out their content, which is good content, but they don't always answer questions. We take great pride in answering your questions. So we appreciate the hell out of you, beautiful people. But Anthony, did you have anything to say before we ride off from the sunset? Or are we all good, buddy?
No, we're all good. Looking forward to tonight's game, and then obviously coming back here tomorrow night to answer more of your questions.
All right. Well, there you go. All right. Well, I'm had a lot of fun. I'm glad I'm alive. I'm never eating hamburger helper again. But appreciate
Thanks,
Steve.
Mike.
Appreciate Anthony. Yeah. But yeah, until next time, stay thirsty. Be kind to one another. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. Cheers.